Well, welcome to this episode of the Say Hello to Joe podcast, brought to you by Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Mount Airy. Make sure you like this podcast and leave a review at the end if you would. I'm joined today with Mike Lewis, our General Manager of Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and Holly Christy, who is the publisher of the Mount Airy, Damascus, and Urbana Macaroni KID. I love that name. Thanks for joining us, Holly.
Happy to be here.
Great. And for you all that don't know, Macaroni KID is an e-newsletter and a website that's all about kids, families, events, activities, products, and places for families to enjoy. So we've partnered up with Holly for her e-newsletter and website for the year at Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they're just publishing an article on the website in the e-newsletter that goes out next Wednesday, which is called 101 Day Trips in Maryland. I didn't even know there was 101 places in Maryland you could go, but I previewed the article yesterday, and I was reading all the places that you could go, and it was pretty interesting. So Holly, why don't you fill us in on what's going on at Macaroni KID?
Will do. Macaroni KID exists to help families find your family fun. And we like to highlight everything in our local area and then just outside of our local area that might be a fun thing to do with your family. So this guide, the 101 Day Trips article, we're featuring all kinds of things that would be good for a day trip, like maybe not right here in town, but if you've got a day to kill or a weekend, summer day, and you want to go find a lighthouse or a beach or someplace to go fishing or a museum, we've got all kinds of ideas.
I was previewing your article, and it was interesting because I have 3 children, and they're all in their mid-30s. And I also have 6 grandkids who are ages from 1 to 6. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, my wife and I are sitting at home going, you know, what can we do? What can we do? And, you know, you're having a nice reference like that is awesome to be able to look at.
Well, good. We have a calendar of events all the time, too. If you're looking for something to do tomorrow in Mount Airy, that's there. So,
Mike, you probably have some good vehicles that families
we got lots of good vehicles for that.
101 day trips to. We why don't you go over some of the vehicles that we could help people take those trips in?
Probably our best family vehicle would be the Chrysler Pacifica. You can get the whole family in there. Lots of room. Seats up to 8 passengers. We also have maybe a Dodge Durango if you want something a little more 4-wheel drive, sporty look. And of course, the new Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer is the ultimate family luxury vehicle.
Yeah, ride to that day trip in style
no
in one
question.
of those vehicles.
No question.
So as I was reading your article yesterday, Holly, I saw you had several different topics of, you know, where you can go on these day trips, and I was just amazed of all the different categories. Why don't you kind of fill our audience in on a few of your favorites?
Yeah, sure. Well, not every family is into the same kind of activities, obviously, so we try to make it diverse in terms of what your interests might be. For instance, my family is big into hiking and outdoors, so we have a section in this article that's all about get outdoors, and there's nature centers, zipline parks, botanical gardens, all kind of places where you might be able to.
I want a zipline.
Yeah. Well, hey, we've got a couple options for you here, so you know where to go.
That sounds exciting.
I thought you were a bungee jumper.
Yeah, no.
You could probably find that. Maybe not with kids. But,
you're right.
But there are families that are all about going to the beach and playing in the water. We've got several options here listed under Life's a Beach, you know, starting with Sandy Point and Ocean City and continuing on. Then there are the sports families, which, you know, lots of baseball options in this area, which I didn't even know about.
Yeah, it's amazing how, you know, obviously we have the Orioles in Baltimore, the Nationals, but that's in D.C., but it's, you know, still in the metropolitan area. But there's probably 5 or 6 minor league baseball options within, you know, Aberdeen. You have Waldorf. You have I don't know if they still have it in Bowie.
Yep,
Yep.
Delmarva.
Right on.
Delmarva,
Right.
So,
Sox.
yeah, so I mean, there's lots of options, and even right up here at the Frederick Keys, and that's a great place to take a family for minor league baseball. And museums, there's all sorts of stuff.
There are, and you wouldn't necessarily even think of it if you're just kind of scrambling for something fun to do. So we keep this up all year long. People can reference it whenever they want to. It's the one with the Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram logo on it. And we've got, like you said, museums. There's 10 of them here. And there are all kinds of subjects, from children's museums to Babe Ruth again and Ripley and everything in between.
Yeah, so I'll say this to our audience: if you're struggling to try to, hey, honey, what do you want to do with the kids this weekend or this Saturday? Take a look at this article on the Macaroni KID website, because there's lots of choices, and it's very well done, and there's links to all of these places you can go with directions, and it's an awesome article. I'd like to thank Holly for joining us today. Looking forward, Mike. I know Mike's looking forward to your partnership with Macaroni KID.
Absolutely, thank you.
Sponsoring your newsletter and your website for the year. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Say Hello to Joe website. Make sure you can view this on all the major sites: Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, all of them. Leave a review, and thanks for joining us.